Y'all remember this video?
Joe and Mika Brzezinski Scarborough, who famously warned of the growing threat of Trump's fascism, also had an interesting announcement to make.
And this one?
And for those asking why we would go speak to the president-elect during such fraught times, especially between us, I guess I would ask, why wouldn't we?
Because you said he was Hitler.
So apparently, Jon Stewart's brutal takedown of Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski turned into a full-on roast fest. Even former MSNBC insider Keith Olbermann jumped in, calling them grifters and confidence tricksters. Media critic Jeff Jarvis accused them of betraying democracy. Things got heated when the MSNBC power couple tried to clap back, and it backfired spectacularly. And just when you thought it was over, Stewart came back swinging, exposing the hypocrisy and lack of credibility at MSNBC. We've got the clips, the quotes, and the fallout. Buckle up, you're not going to want to miss a second of this.
Retribution against political opponents and media outlets.
Oh, I bet you really laid down the gauntlet, Joe. I bet you walked in there and just let him have it, didn't you, Joey? We've learned nothing!
After getting roasted by fellow leftists and Democrats, Joe and Mika issued what can only be described as a weak, pathetic clapback.
First of all, everybody was so kind last night, but also thank you. Willie, yesterday I saw for the first time what a massive disconnect there was between social media and the real world. Because we were flooded with phone calls from people all day, literally around the world. Very positive, very supportive.
Joe and Mika kicked things off by claiming there's a disconnect between social media and real life, as if we all forgot the countless times they publicly trashed Trump. Then, right on cue, they launched into their usual spin about global support. The reality? They were getting dragged from every corner of the internet. The praise they imagined didn't exist. What they got was non-stop criticism. Let's get into their clapback, then roll Jon Stewart's epic response.
But once in a while I would get a text or a call from someone and go, oh man, I hope you're doing okay. And I call him back and I go, well, Eddie Gladys went up and we go, Eddie, are you on Twitter? And he goes, I am. I go, okay, well, I'm not. So we've had a good day. Mika just had a wonderful event and it's fantastic. We're going to do all of us are going to do the best we can do, and we're all working towards a better America.
Take it day by day.
Day by day. And again, you can predict the future by shaping the future.
No, Joe, your face, your body language, your whole vibe says otherwise. You're not okay. No one expects you to melt down on live TV, but it's clear you're feeling the heat of getting endlessly dragged across social media. Behind that forced smile and shaky confidence, the cracks are showing. You've built a career on spin, bluster, and phony charm, but even the best mask slips under pressure. Keep insisting you're fine, but everyone watching knows the truth. You're unraveling, one smug deflection at a time.
The entire piece, but it's worth it.
About wokeness? I couldn't even stay woke through that whole thing.
Jon Stewart didn't just dismiss their clapback, he called it what it was: weak, toothless, and lacking any real substance. And he's not wrong. There was no sting, no insight, just a hollow attempt at damage control dressed up in smugness. If that was supposed to be a rebuttal, it fell flat. So here's my question: what did you take away from that cringe-worthy response? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm dying to hear your take on this mess. Meanwhile, Stewart stepped into the chaos, and it only got crazier.
I think we make a mistake focusing this all on Donald Trump as though he's, I don't know, Magneto and some incredible supervillain that has changed the very nature and temperature of the United States. Like, he's just been an effective vessel. But again, like, he's not singing new songs. I think it's a mistake to focus it all on this one individual.
Jon Stewart went full beast mode, no holding back. He tore into Scarborough for obsessively fixating on Trump while ignoring the real, everyday struggles of working-class Americans. Stewart's point was sharp. While average people drown in rising costs, broken healthcare, student debt, and economic instability, Scarborough keeps playing the same tired anti-Trump hits like a broken jukebox. Instead of addressing the systemic issues crushing the middle and lower class, he chases clicks and applause from a coastal elite bubble completely out of touch with reality. Stewart made it clear Trump may be a problem, but MSNBC's willful blindness to real-world suffering is a betrayal. When media figures prioritize Trump bashing over real reform, they aren't resisting the problem, they're becoming part of it.
Let's hear it for Democratic politicians who keep it real. Senator Alyssa Slotkin of Michigan says Democrats are, quote, weak and woke and should get some goddamn alpha energy and need to fucking retake the flag.
Bill Maher weighed in too, saying Scarborough is picking the wrong fight. Instead of wasting energy sparring with fellow Democrats, Maher argued Scarborough should be focused on stopping Republicans from regaining power. The infighting, Maher said, only weakens the left and plays right into Republican hands. He backed his point with Democratic Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin's powerful message. Democrats need to reclaim the flag from Trump and take back the values conservatives have hijacked. For Maher, this isn't about media egos, it's about unity, strategy, and survival in a high-stakes political war. Scarborough needs to wake up and choose the bigger fight.
Seriously, this is a serious problem for Democrats. Less than 1 in 4 Democrats under 30 say they're proud to be an American. 54% say they're embarrassed by it. Embarrassed? Like America's your mom picking you up at school? You're embarrassed to be an American? Well, guess what? The feeling's mutual. Because you have no perspective. Is America perfect? No, of course not. No country is.
Now, the reason I bring up these clips is because they expose the deeper damage caused by Scarborough, Brzezinski, and the larger MSNBC machine. This isn't just about bad political commentary, it's about eroding trust, pride, and hope among young Democrats. Through fear-mongering, hypocrisy, and performative outrage, they've chipped away at the foundation of what it means to believe in America. They've convinced a generation to hate the country that gave them freedom, opportunity, and prosperity. That's why voices like Jon Stewart and Bill Maher keep sounding the alarm. Scarborough and Brzezinski aren't just misinforming, they're actively undermining the nation, cloaked in the very rhetoric they claim is meant to save it. The scariest part, they do it with a straight face, pretending to be the moral compass of the left. When power, ego, and narrative control become the priority, truth and unity are the first casualties.
But the U.S. is leagues ahead of the rest of the world on most of the progressive issues that are important to young people. America has 14 million women-owned businesses. 17% of black women are starting businesses, which is faster than white women or white men. Gay Americans are free to marry, and 49% of them own property. Yes, in America, gays buy buildings. In other places, they get thrown off them.
And Maher didn't stop there. He reminded Joe and Mika and their viewers how far America has come in the last century. From civil rights to technological innovation and global influence, despite its flaws, America has made undeniable progress. He then pivoted to the Trump years, not to glorify them, but to point out an inconvenient truth. Not everything under Trump was a disaster. Maher listed a few economic wins: historically low unemployment pre-COVID, criminal justice reform, and a tough stance on China that many Democrats now echo. His point wasn't to endorse Trump, but to highlight the danger of partisan blindness. He warned young Americans not to fall for the doomsday narrative pushed by MSNBC pundits who profit off division and hysteria. Because when journalists twist every story to fit an agenda, truth is the first casualty and democracy isn't far behind.
Globalize the intifada is the catchphrase that's really catching on these days, as if worldwide suicide bombing and cosplaying Islamic revolutionaries is the answer to our problems. At an AOC Bernie Sanders rally in Idaho last month, someone threw a Palestinian flag over an American flag, and the crowd erupted in approval. What should have happened after that is one of the adults on stage should have told their young, loyal followers, this is not a symbol of freedom. This is.
The problem is, the people who should be guiding the next generation, the so-called adults in the room, are often the ones spreading the most dangerous lies. And because they're the perpetrators, they have no incentive to tell the truth. Instead, they push distorted narratives. Whether it's teaching that Israel is always the aggressor, that biology no longer matters, or pretending gender is just a social construct to be bent at will. Or Bernie Sanders preaching class warfare from his private jet while condemning billionaires between luxury vacations. It's hypocrisy wrapped in moral posturing, and it's being fed to impressionable minds as truth. When ideology replaces facts and emotional manipulation takes the place of honest debate, a society starts to lose its grip on reality. Fortunately, those lies are starting to get exposed, like in the clip we're about to watch.
So, as Pam mentioned, there's an illegal alien from El Salvador. With respect to you, he's a citizen of El Salvador. So, it's very arrogant even for American media to suggest that we would tell El Salvador how to handle their own citizens as a start. And I can promise you, if he was your neighbor, you would move right away.
So you don't plan to ask for his help to get him back? Is that your position? Well,
No version of this legally ends up with him ever living here because he is a citizen of El Salvador. That is the president of El Salvador. Your questions about it per the court can only be directed to him.
I asked President Bukele, can President Bukele weigh in on this? Do you plan to return him?
Well, I'm supposed to not suggesting that I smuggle terrorists in the United States.
Well, Mr. President, you said that if the Supreme Court said someone needed to be returned, that you would abide by that. You said that on Air Force One just a few days ago, and they said that it must be facilitated.
Why don't you just say, isn't it wonderful that we're keeping criminals out of our country? Why can't you just say?
These people wouldn't recognize the truth if it smacked them in the face, and even if they did, they'd never admit it. They'd rather drown in spin, peddle shameless propaganda, and twist facts into unrecognizable shapes to protect their narrative. It's not about honesty or accountability anymore, it's about winning the culture war, no matter the cost. Look at illegal immigration. Trump made it clear his goal was to restore order and uphold the rule of law. But Democrats, they saw a political opportunity. They'd rather defend open borders and criminal aliens if it means scoring points with their base. The result? A broken system, exploited laws, and a nation weighed down by partisan games. What we're witnessing is the slow decay of truth in favor of tribal loyalty and media theatrics. Scarborough, Brzezinski, and their media pals aren't informing the public, they're manipulating it. And with every phony outrage performance, they drive deeper wedges into this country. Meanwhile, voices like Stewart and Maher are just asking for honesty, sanity, and perspective. Because if we can't even agree on what's real, how are we supposed to fix anything?